Auditor the dog was a feral shaggy dog that lived on and around the Berkeley Pit Mine in Butte, Montana. But first, a bit of Butte backstory. It was established as a mining camp in the 1860s, and when they got electricity there, it became a mining boomtown. Like between 1905 and 1917, between a quarter and a third of all copper mined on Earth came from Butte, Montana. They ended up digging some 10,000 miles of underground mining tunnels under the city, and some of them are up to a mile down there under the earth. That's about 3.5 times as many miles of road there is between New York City and Los Angeles. And in 1955, they started open pit mining on the north side of the town, where Auditor the dog ended up living. The only currently operating mine is the Continental Mine near the Berkeley Pit, operated by Montana Resources. And Auditor the dog was first seen on the property in 1986, the year after they started operations. He was believed to be a Poli breed of doggo, because he had long corded mats and was about the size of one. And they called him Auditor because he would always show up when you least expected him. The only time you could generally expect to see him was at 7 p.m. when mine workers would feed him and give him fresh water. They built a little shack on site for the wasteland wanderer. Near the end of his life, they started giving him a bit of baby aspirin on top of the food and water to help with the limp that he'd developed. But other than that, he didn't ever want nothing to do with people and wouldn't let anybody get close to him. And he'd sometimes disappear for weeks at a time, even during Montana's harsh winters. It's honestly crazy that he survived at all on such a toxic environment. Like in 1996, a flock of snow geese landed in the pit's acidic, heavy metal-laden waters, and they pulled 342 carcasses out. They've since resorted to hazing to try to deter the birds from landing in the pit. They got drones and propane devices that sound like gunshots and actual gunshots, and recorded sounds of geese in turmoil. But it still don't always work. The Auditor lived at least 16 years up there and ended up croaking in 2003. But before he did, an environmental engineer at Montana Tech, Holly Peterson, was able to obtain a sample of his hair. They found elevated levels of nearly every element imaginable. Like he had 128 times the normal level of arsenic found in pet hair. The story and his mangy look is honestly pretty sad. But for many of the people of Butte, he symbolizes the town's resilience through hardship that the folks have faced over the years. And Holly Peterson hoped that he would become a sort of mascot for the town. And she ended up getting behind efforts to have little statues of him placed around town.